Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We're going to get into these charts, see what opportunities we can capitalize on for the week. I hope everybody had a good week last week. Hope y'all made some good profits, all of that good stuff. So, we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. Hey, also, you guys, if you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up in the chat that we want to look at, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll be happy to mark them up, happy to look at them. We can rock and roll with that. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to start off with a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this day. We want to thank you for life, health, and strength. Lord, I pray that anybody who's on this call will be blessed by this call. I pray that anything said can help someone financially. I pray that someone learns something new. And I pray that this channel continues to provide value for some who wants to get into Forex. Lord, we thank you, we love you, we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and hop into it, man. I'm excited about today. It's always exciting to get up with y'all. So let's jump into it. We looking at our fundamental analysis. If we looking at Forex Factory this week, we can see Sunday really don't have anything going on. But Monday, it looks like 11 o'clock Central Time tomorrow, GBP has some news. BOE, Governor Bailey speaks. Let's see what he's talking about. And it's rare that we get news, you know, high impact news at 11:15 in the morning. So it definitely might be something popping off. Let's see. Due to participant in the panel discussion titled Monetary Policy Interaction and Inflation in Post-Pandemic World. Leveraging tensions. Okay. It's more hawkish than expected as good for currency. So why do traders care? As head of the central bank, which controls short-term interest rates, he has more influence over the nation's currency value than any other person. Okay. So when this guy speaks tomorrow about 11:15 Central, any GBP pairs that we are trading, we want to be mindful of that. So this can definitely move the market tomorrow. And we'll kind of look at the couple of GBP pairs that we have just to see where they are and see what price can potentially push to as well. All right. So if we're looking at Tuesday, we can see London session definitely might have some action going on. I haven't really traded London session like that because I know London and New York, they have a different ebb and flow in how they move. And so, you know, me, because I'm not, you know, I'm usually sleeping around that time. My mindset is not really there for London session. So, and I haven't really tested the pairs that I really trade on London session like that. So I kind of stick to the sessions. New York is what I really trade. But for those who trade London, if you trade any Euro pairs, you definitely should see some action on Tuesday for the Euro. GBP has some orange folders as well. So you probably see some GBP news as well. Because GBP is definitely a London pair. It moves in New York, but it moves a lot more in London. So if you trade GBP pairs during London, you should see some action. 8:45 that morning, US might see a little action on Tuesday. And also at 11:20. Whenever this guy speaks, Powell, there's usually always a nice move in the market with USD pairs. So on Tuesday at 11:20, which is an unusual time as well, we definitely should see some action. That's literally right at the end of, you know, nearing the end of New York session and things like that. So we should see some action of this kind of popping off. I'm sorry, that's the end of a London session. So we should definitely see some action popping off around this time. For those who trade NZD, 9 p.m. Central, we have some high impact news on that time as well. Wednesday, the Euro during London session. We got Japanese pairs tentative, so I don't really know what time that's gonna pop off on Wednesday. 7:30, we have a little bit of USD news as well. 11:15, we have some news on USD, but look, check this out. On Wednesday, we have FOMC at 1 o'clock. So like I tell all of you guys, if we have FOMC at 1 o'clock, usually the pair, whenever we have FOMC, the market is going to have a drastic move at that time. So be mindful, be smart when you guys trade on Wednesday at that time. So it's going to definitely be a huge move within the market. Hold on 1 second, you guys. All right, sorry about that, you guys. Let's see, going into Thursday, we see that we have bank holidays for the chef. We have a French holiday in Euro and also a German holiday in Euro. So these particular pairs might be a little dormant on Thursday. As we can see, Thursday, CAD and USD chef will pop off about 7:30 Central. We have a little bit of USD news at 9, and closing out, we have USD news Friday, which we have the price index on Friday. Okay, so we definitely have some opportunities for this week. We just got to be mindful and stick to our plans and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump into it, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and start with let's start with GU. Let's start with GU. So if we go to the daily time frame, we can see that overall we're still bearish. You can see our highs and low points with the GU. But as we look at this, we can tell right off the bat we have a continuation pattern right here. We have this huge bullish, bearish, bullish order block pattern right here. And so this is a continuation. This is a demand zone here that's forming where price will possibly push up. So one of the things I want to see, there's an imbalance here on the 4-hour, and I'll show you guys in a second. But if price comes, blast through this and take out this lower high here, then we're possibly looking for a retest and for price to turn around and go to the upside. Okay, but let's look and see what price is currently right now, because basically what we had with this is this continuation is bullish, bearish, bullish. Price came up a little bit and it came back to retest this demand zone. So let's drop to the 4-hour just to see what we have. So as you guys can see, price came down, it's still kind of rested in here. So we could see prices consolidating slightly here. So it's possible that there's Wyckoff right in this area here, and we'll drop down and look at that. But one of the things that I'm kind of targeting is on the 4-hour time frame. This is a 4-hour imbalance that we have. Right in this area right here. So what I would like to see is for price to actually come up to this area here, show some sort of Wyckoff schematic in this area, and then possibly, you know, shoot down and take out this low here. However, if that doesn't happen, then price will possibly break through this daily lower high here, give us a retest, and then shoot to the upside to change the direction of market. But let's look at price right now, because possibly right here we might see a reaccumulation or something form here and maybe shoot up to this side here. So let's break it down to the 1-hour just to see what we can see. So we definitely see that we have consolidation here, and I believe that we actually started marking this up last week. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Here we go right here. So let's look at price, you guys. Break it down to the 15-minute. So right here, you can see that we definitely have a reaccumulation, I hope. And the reason why I say that is because if this was a distribution, if price decides to go down, price will build here and then it will shoot to the downside. We still don't know exactly what it's going to do, but if it's a reaccumulation, it will build here and then it'll shoot up. So either way that this go, we can, we want to kind of be patient just to see exactly what it's going to do. But we can see that Wyckoff definitely was present within this area here from this consolidation. We break it down to a lower time frame. Let's see if we had any breaks of structure or anything like that. So as we can see, from a 5-minute, let's go back to the 15. So 15-minute perspective, can't really see it too well. Price isn't defined that well. So if we broke it down to the 5-minute, let's see. We can see lower low. Let's mark this up a little bit. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We had a break of structure in this area. and then price came back to retest in this area. So we can see, let me make this a little bigger for you guys to be able to see this. So with this break of structure right here on the 5-minute, we can see if we throw our fibs on this, we can see price is definitely within our 50% or greater. But one of the things I see in this area is I see an imbalance right here. Price didn't quite get all the way, well, maybe it did. No, not quite. So price didn't quite get all the way down there as of yet. But I would probably say, you know, even though it didn't quite close all the way out, that's probably respected with these two areas here. And as we can see, price started to shoot up. So one of the things, we can see one or two things that can happen in this area. We can see price take out this UT, give us a UTAD, and then price can continue to the downside. Or from here, this is our possible spring. Price came back, gave us a test, and then price can possibly shoot to the upside to target possibly this imbalance up in this area here. Okay, so that's some of the things that we can look at, because we see that we had a break of structure to go to the upside. So we're possibly we possibly might go to the upside to hit this area here. But what we can do to make sure that we capitalize on both areas or both sides, we can set an alert right here on our support lines. That way, if price breaks this, we can possibly look for price to continue to the downside. Let me see, GU breaks support lines. Okay, and then we can also put an alert right above this UT here, because if price breaks this area, then this is possibly a UTAF for it to come back down, or possible, you know, a break to the upside and, you know, make higher highs, higher lows, and go to the upside. So we don't know exactly what it's going to do. So we want to be patient, because I mean, this is Sunday as well, so that we want to give the market time to settle. So no, I don't think I want to put an alert in that area. I'll possibly put an alert right up here, because if it breaks this area, then I'm almost more than confident that it'll go up and go to take out that imbalance. GU, no. Let's see what we want to do. Yeah, I'll put it right down here. If it breaks this UT here. GU breaks UT. Yeah, we'll add that area there. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much what I have on GU, you guys. So the thing that I would like to see, like I said, because we have this huge demand zone here, which is a continuation on a daily. So I want to see price actually push up in this area, form some sort of distribution, and then shoot to the downside. That's what I want to see. Ah, crap. Okay, but that's what I want to see. Let's go to another pair. Let's go to EU. Check out EU and see what EU is doing. Let's go to the daily. As you can see, EU is pretty much giving us some of the same things that that GU is giving us. As we can see right now, currently we have a bullish, bearish, bullish pattern here. We see price tapped into this continuation order block, and it started to shoot to the upside. So just like the same thing with GU, we have a demand zone here, which is a continuation. Price tapped into the zone, and it might actually take out this daily, this last daily lower high here. So we don't know what it's going to do, but like I said, we do have a continuation pattern, which indicates that price possibly want to go to the upside. Okay, so if we drop it to the 4-hour time frame, we can see on the 4-hour time frame we're just making, you know, higher highs and higher lows, and so price might come back a little bit more within this demand zone here. It could, because we had an imbalance right here on this area here. So So price can possibly come down to this area and shoot up. So with this swing here, let's actually look at our fibs to see exactly what's going on. So we can see that it actually did test the 50% area. So if we drop it down to the 15-minute, let's look and see what's going on here. So from a 15-minute perspective, we can see we have a high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So before we look for price to actually shoot to the upside, this here will be our break of structure. This is our 15-minute break of structure before we look to for price to continue to the upside. Let's see, EU 15-minute BOS. And so this one is showing really, really good market structure. So this should be, not too bad to capture. However, if price decides to come down a little bit further and tap into this area here, this imbalance that we saw on the 4-hour, then that'll be even better. However, I do see something else as well. If you guys notice, all the way down here, we have a order block that has not been tested yet on the 15-minute. So price can possibly come down to this area, tap this order block 50% of this, and then possibly shoot to the upside. So that's something that we can possibly see as well. So I will notate this because this has not been tested. So we want to take 50% of the smaller candle, and I'll use my 50% GAN box for this. And price can possibly come down, tap into this, and shoot to the upside. So if we looked at this, you guys, and let's just say if we took a buy entry here, stop loss, we can possibly put it up under this protected low here, which is about 8 or 9 pips. And then from there, we decided to ride it up and take out this liquidity here. That's 125 pips or so. So there's definitely opportunity if price come down to this area. So I'm gonna set a couple of alerts in this area. I want to set an alert right before the 61.8, which is right before this this imbalance. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, let me go ahead and fix that. Hold on, let me fix the chat, you guys, because I see a monkey in there too. Hold on one second. Hop out. Hold on one second, you guys. Let me fix that. Okay, there we go. I think the chat is fixed now, you guys. Hey, Mr. Blessed, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. I would say Monday night, Mr. Bless, Monday night is probably one of those days that price action starts to settle in a little bit, because when the markets open on Sunday, they kind of settle into their ways. There might be huge gaps and all of that, and then by Monday price starts to move a little bit, and then Monday night price is starting to kind of get into its own, preparing for that London session. So I would say probably Monday night. All right, you guys, let's see. EU approaching 61.8 imbalance. Okay, right there in that area. But then down in this area, like we were looking at, definitely if price breaks this 78.6 area, I'll definitely be looking for something in this area. However, we do want to be mindful of this area here though, because it can be a tad bit risky to take this here. I'll be willing to risk 8 pips or so or something like that. But the reason why I say it's risky is because ultimately we're in down structure. So if price come down here to this area, I'll probably want, before I hop in that, I wouldn't set a pending. I would want to see it tap into that area and give me a break of structure or something like that, because we're still in down structure, and basically price could come down here, break through this, and then shoot to the downside to give us another lower low on a daily. So we want to be mindful of that. Okay. because like I said, we're still in down structure. However, if price breaks this 78.6, I'll put an alert here. I do want to look at price and see where it can possibly be, because if we could catch a entry down here in this area, then that would be a great risk to reward trade to take to the upside if it do continue to go to the upside. EU breaks 78.6. Okay. Because another thing that we can look at too from a big picture perspective, because we want to be mindful of that as well. If we're looking at EU from a big picture perspective, if we took our fibs from the swing high and the swing low here, we can see that price is well within our 78.6 area. You know what I'm saying? So price can possibly come down. However, we don't want to negate that we have a continuation order block, this bullish, bearish, bullish. So patience is definitely a virtue to wait for on this particular pair, because it can go either way. We don't know what the market wants to do. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have right now on EU, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and look at USD CAD. So USD CAD, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I missed a lot of opportunities on USD CAD last week. I think mainly because I was more focused on GU and G Chef last week, so I missed a lot of opportunities on this pair. We still have a lot of opportunity with this pair, because as you can see from a daily perspective, we are bullish. We're still bullish on a daily perspective. So if we drop down to the 4 hour, let's look and see what we have. So we can see earlier, maybe a few weeks ago, we had a break of structure on the 4 hour. It came back to retest, but it never came up to this 4 hour imbalance, which in my opinion, it still needs to be tested. It still needs to be tested, because these are open pending orders. And in this area here, this 4 hour supply has not been tested as well. It has not tapped this to continue to the downside, but we also have an imbalance here as well. So in this area, we can see that we have some sort of a double bottom, which is almost a sideways double bottom type situation that can possibly push price back to the upside to maybe tap out this imbalance or maybe go higher. But one of the things ultimately I want to see price come down to this huge demand zone that we have down here. Let me move this over a bit. This is a daily demand zone that we have here that I want to see price tap into and possibly continue to the upside, because like I said, we're still excuse me, ultimately in up structure. So let's look at this. We go to the let's go to the 1 hour for a second and look at price. Stop off at the 4 hour first. So if we're looking at the 4 hour time frame, let's mark up some areas to see where we are. So here, I'm gonna use blue for this. Okay. So we have a lower low, a lower high. We have a lower low here. We have a lower high. And we have a lower low here. Okay. So from a 4 hour perspective, you can see that we're still bearish until this is broken. We're looking for sales right now. So if we throw our fibs on this particular pair from where it is right now, we can see it came up here and it actually tapped our 78.6. Okay, move this up closer to the wicks. It tapped our 78.6, which lets me know price still probably want to continue to the downside. So if we drop to the 15-minute to look and see what's going on, let me refine some of these here. And as you guys can see, market structure it looks really good on these pairs right now, because we can really see the moves. And so it makes trading a whole lot easier when you can see the moves and there's not a whole lot of noise within it. So from a 15-minute perspective, we can see we got a lower high, a high, lower low, lower high, Let's mark these so we can see these. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we had a break of structure right here on the 15-minute time frame, which lets us know that price can possibly turn around. Okay, 15-minute BOS right here. Okay, now let's take off this fib on the 4-hour. So since we had a break of structure, that don't necessarily negate that we're looking to go on an uptrend, because like I said, on the 4-hour, we're still in down structure on the 4-hour. Let's look on the 1-hour for a second. High, lower low, lower high, lower low. Yeah, so this 15-minute break of structure, it doesn't really mean anything really to me at this point, because we're still ultimately in down structure. So what I want to look for at this point is I'm still looking for sales. I'm looking for sales. And so if we look at price currently right now on a 15-minute, let's drop to the 5-minute for a second. So it might be more defined to look at it on the 5-minute, because on the 5-minute time frame, since I'm looking for sales, we can see we had a high, higher low, higher high. We had a break of structure right here on the 5-minute. So I see a couple opportunities that we can look at for this, which is right here. Price can possibly come up to this 5-minute imbalance here. Five-minute imbalance here, which we also have a supply zone in this area. So what I'll do, I'll actually just notate this entire area here. We have a supply zone here. We also have a supply zone here in this area. And these are 5-minute supply zones, which we also have an imbalance in this area as well. A 5-minute imbalance for this one as well, right here. Go ahead and move my supply zone down to kind of capture that as well. Okay, so price can possibly tap into this area and then continue to the downside, because like I said, I'm ultimately looking for sales, because on the 5-minute time frame we had a break of structure for this to go to the downside, and we're still in bearish momentum on the hourly and the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so I'll set an alert possibly here for USD CAD. Approaching POI. And so from there, that way we can be mindful when price kind of comes up to this area and can possibly dip to the downside. Okay. Move these over a tad. That's good enough. Yeah, because ultimately, you guys, on the 4-hour time frame, we're sitting. Throw my big fibs on this. Yeah, we already wicked the 78.6, and so we broke through the 50. So it's probably just coming back for that retest and then continue to the downside. So that's what I want to see for this particular pair. We're gonna keep that one extremely simple. We're gonna follow market structure, and that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, let's go ahead and look at G-Chef. And like I said, you guys, if you guys see any pairs that you want to see marked up, please put them in the chat. I'll be happy to look at them for you. So if we're looking at G-Chef, you guys, on the daily time frame, you can see that we're in bearish structure as well. These are huge swings though. As you can see, we have a lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low on a daily time frame. these swings are huge because they're literally almost getting this lower high came almost up here at this wick, right up in this area here, and then plowed all the way down. So we just broke the last low, so we're definitely possibly looking for something to come back up to the upside, because we have this huge unhealthy price action where the supply zone left this huge imbalance and the supply zone here wasn't tested. So if we drop to the 4 hour, we can kind of look at market structure a little better from this perspective. We can see that price came down, made our daily lower low, came up and gave us a higher low in this area here, or it never broke this area here. So possibly letting us know that this candle here, when price broke this wick here, let me make this a little bigger. When price broke this area here, this was a break of structure on a smaller time frame. And as you can see, we had a break of structure. Price came back to retest some level of demand within this area here. And we can break it down to look at it, and we can see that price is starting to shoot to the upside. Okay. So from a 4 hourly perspective, let's mark our areas up from a 4 hour time frame. So we can see that we have a level of supply here that we want to see price possibly break through before we start to look at huge buys or anything like that. And we can see that we also have a bearish, bullish, bearish continuation pattern here as well. Okay. I'm more inclined to think that price will shoot up to this supply zone and possibly shoot to the downside. And we also have a huge imbalance right here. So I'm going to pull my supply zone down a little bit to be able to capture that imbalance as well. And we can see that there's an imbalance here as well, and price has closed that imbalance out. So there possibly might be Wyckoff somewhere in this area that price can possibly shoot back up, or it can shoot back down. We don't know, but let's look at it. Let's look at what price is if we were to put our fibs on this, because I'm pretty sure it's not above our 50% area. No, it's not. So I'm believing that price will possibly break through the supply zone. We'll just be patient and wait. Okay. But let's go ahead and drop down to the 1 hour time frame and look and see what we have. So looking at this, now let's go to the 15-minute. So we can see on the 15-minute time frame, we had a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high in this area here. We can see we had a break of structure. Price came back to retest this level of demand in this area here. But let's break it down to a 5-minute perspective to see exactly what did price test. Go to the 3-minute. We'll put a line here just so I can see exactly where did this come to. Okay, tested this order block right here, this level of demand here, so we can notate that. Minute. This area was mitigated. Okay, price came back, tapped this, and it shot to the upside. So currently right now, as we can see, at a break of structure, came back to retest, so higher high, higher low, higher high. And we might see price come up a little bit and then give us another higher low on a 15-minute time frame. Let's look at the hourly. Y'all know what, you guys? This is Wyckoff. Let's see. Right in this area here, we have definitely have Wyckoff, so we can mark this up. Dash lanes. Move this down to this area here. And so me make this a little bigger. Here we have a automatic rally. This area down here is our selling climax. Have a PSY here. I'm sorry, PS. We have a UA. This area here is our ST, which is our secondary test. And then this price, it never broke our secondary test. If price would have broke this area here, this would have been a spring. So more, this is pretty much a schematic 2 without the spring, because we can see it actually broke our resistance lines and things like that. So when we're looking at this, let's see something for a second. Make sure we're looking at that Wyckoff accumulation schematic 2. Yeah, so if you guys can see that, let me make that bigger. This is what we're looking at here. ST and B is what we have, LPS. So it's gonna build up. It never gave us a spring. So right now we have an LPS and it's starting to build up, possibly into a sign of strength. So that's possibly what we're looking at right now. As you can see, those are the parameters that it's giving right now. So LPS, and then a backup LPS. So we can notate those. This is a LPS. This here is a LPS as well. I don't think we got a backup LPS, but you can see it broke this area here, and we are in SOW. I'm sorry, SO, sign of strength in this area here. I could mark this as our, I could mark it up like that. And so with Wyckoff, there's so many different ways that you can mark these things up, but this pretty much is what we're looking at. And so we had an accumulation to build, and price is gonna continue to the upside. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. Let's see what it does when it taps into this level of supply. I'll put an alert right above this, because one of the things I'm expecting it to break through this area. GBP Chef breaks supply zone. And so that's one of the things that I kind of see price doing with this particular pair. I want to see it break this area, because like I said, we just made a daily lower low, so I'm looking for it to go up and make a lower high. And so yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see price break that. So I'll actually indicate this entire zone here as my accumulation. Okay, I'm going to erase this mitigation box. I really don't need that. And that's what we have on G-Chef, you guys. We got accumulation building in this area here, and we want to see price shoot to the upside. Okay, that's pretty much what I have on G-Chef. Hey Dale, what's going on? All right, you guys, so we're just gonna keep everything simple. We're not gonna overcomplicate it. We just utilize what the market gives us, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, I wanna see price breakthrough here, give a possible retest, and shoot up to this area here, because if we can catch an entry somewhere up in here to ride it up to this area, it's about 100 or so pips. And if we get up in this area, I expect maybe a distribution to maybe shoot to the downside. Okay, all right, let's look at gold. Before I get into gold, you guys, like I said, let me know if you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up. I'll be happy to mark them up for you guys. Okay, so let's go to the daily time frame on gold. I didn't catch gold a lot last week either. I think I caught maybe one scalp on gold. That was pretty much it. But gold, let me notate a few things first. So gold has these huge swings going on right now. And let's see, with gold, lower low, lower high. Okay, all right, I can see it now. So with gold, we have this is our daily lower low. So our daily lower high. We have another lower low here. We have a daily lower high in this area here for gold. Okay, so that's our macro structure. That's our big structure that we're looking at. Okay, yeah, that's our macro structure that we're looking at, you guys. All right, so let's break it down to the 4-hour time frame, kind of look and see what we can play in between. So as you can tell on the 4-hour time frame, let me actually remove this. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see, you know, pretty much good market structure. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And as you can see right up in this area, we're still playing around. And price, we want to see if price will possibly break this area here on the 4-hour time frame. Because if it does, then we could possibly look at price to give us a retest and maybe shoot to the upside. So from a 4-hour perspective, that's what we can notate as our structure from a 4-hour perspective. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, from a 4-hour perspective, that's what we're looking at. You know what? Let me change these to yellow because I have something different for lower time frames on this particular pair. Okay, so now if we break it down to the 1 hour on this particular pair, kind of look and see what price is doing. So from a 1 hour perspective, we can see lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We had a break of structure on the 1 minute time frame. I'm sorry, the 1 hour time frame. I'm sorry. 1 hour time frame, BOS here. We had a pullback in this area here for the retest. Let's see if it's within the 50%, which it is. It came back, possibly tested this area here. This area here, I'll consider this as mitigated because that's the area that it tapped into. If we drop down to the 15-minute time frame, we can see from a 15-minute perspective, we had a break of structure on the 15-minute here to go to the upside, and price gave us a huge retest. You can see price came back literally and took out liquidity in this area more than 100%, and then price started to shoot up, gave us another retest here, and then it started to shoot to the upside. So if we look at price right now, we can see we got a low here, we had a high, higher low, higher high, because this area is definitely higher than this area here. However, you can see that we had a break of structure on the 15-minute here. Price came back to give us a retest. However, I'm not all the way sold that price wants to go down, because looking in these areas, price is a bit choppy. And all of these areas have definitely been retests. So I don't know if price want to come and retest this area, or if it want to break this area and continue to the upside. Because if we go back to the 4-hour time frame and we look at this, we can see that, you know, price is more inclined to possibly come up and take out this 4-hour high, lower high here. Because if we're looking at this from a daily perspective, we might be coming actually to create that lower high on the daily time frame. Of course, we wick the 50%, but we know gold respects the 61.8 and the 78.6 a lot. So we just want to be mindful of that and kind of be patient to see exactly what's going to happen. Within this small consolidation here, I did mark up Wyckoff's on a smaller perspective. Let's see, which I believe it was this distro here. Yeah. So I don't know if this is going to turn into a distribution. It could be a reaccumulation. I don't know. But we did have a break of structure here. And so I just want to see exactly what's going to happen. I want to see exactly what's going to happen, because with this break of structure, something that I do notice is we got a huge imbalance right here that hasn't been retested yet. So like I said, price can possibly continue to the upside. Price can possibly come down, tap this imbalance, and then shoot to the upside, because I'm looking for this thing to go a little bit higher from a daily perspective. And so that's pretty much what I have on gold right now. I don't really know exactly the direction it wants to go. I do kind of see this distribution or possible reaccumulation. So we'll just be patient just to see exactly what it's going to do. Looking at the chat. Okay, Rome, you want me to look at gold euro? No problem. All right, you guys. So that's pretty much what I have on gold. So ultimately on gold, like I said, I want to see it come a little bit higher before it kind of drops to the downside, because we're in bear structure, but I would want to see it actually come up to the 78.6 area. So I'm going to put an alert right before the 61.8, because that's prime area where I want to see gold approaching 61.8 golden zone. That's what I want to see, because if it come up to that area, I want to see it play around, possibly hit the 78.6 and then go back to the downside, because I'm ultimately looking for sales, because we're bearish overall. All right, so let's look at gold euro. All right, you guys, so let's look at this from a daily perspective. I'm gonna take off all of the old marks that I had for this pair, and let's kind of break this down from a daily perspective and see what we got. So we're gonna start from the lowest point and work our way backwards, okay? So this here, let me make this a little bigger. This is our daily lower low. This is gonna be our daily lower high. Okay. Then we have another, because basically what we want to do, we want to just notate the last 4 swing moves, because that'll give us a good structure. Let me see. High, lower, low, lower, high. Yep. And here's the last one here. See some lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. No, I'm sorry. Here. Here. No, that's a 1 candle pullback. That's not a, let me make sure I get this right. Let's see, lower high, lower low, lower high. Let's see if we put this on here. Let's see if this will help us. That's huge. I'm gonna look at it from that perspective. Let me break it down to the 8 hour, because I want to be able to see this market structure. Yeah, we're going to use this one. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Yeah, that's what we're going to use, you guys. We're going to use the 8 hour. That way we can see market structure from that perspective. Or let's look at the 12 hour. Lower high, lower low. Yep, we'll use that. To me, that's more defined. All right, so let's break it down to the 4 hour now to see. Let me put some of these in slightly. That way these lines won't be so huge. Okay, so now that we have our structure, let's go ahead and throw our fibs on here and see exactly where we are within the market. So as you guys can see, we broke the 50%, so we're well within the zone. One of the things I want to see, I see an imbalance right here above the 78.6. So here's definitely a POI that I want to see price possibly come back to and tap into. This is a 4-hour imbalance. Any other confluences that we can see within here? We do have a supply zone here, but it looked like the supply zone was already tapped into before it dipped to the downside. So I'm gonna look at the supply zone here, and I'm gonna cover the imbalance as well for price to possibly come up, tap this, and then shoot to the downside. Because like I said, overall we're bearish this particular pair as well. So that's what I want to see. But if we look at current market structure, let's drop to the 1 hour just to see. We can see that we had some consolidation up in this area, which possibly gave us some sort of wyckoff right in this area here. Let's break it down to the 15-minute. Yeah, definitely had wyckoff in this area here. We can see it came up. Let's see, this area here came up for a BC, which is a buying climax, AR, UT came down to an MSAL. This here was a, because this looks like a reaccumulation, you guys, because what price did came from the downside, it built in this area, and then it shot up, okay? So from this perspective, this definitely was, I'm not gonna mark it up, but this definitely was, I would say, a reaccumulation. This was reaccumulation in this area here, and then price started to shoot up from this area here. So like I said, right now, it's just kind of sort of in no man's land, but let's look at market structure. That way we can see exactly what price is doing. Low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This was our last higher high here. This can possibly be a higher low. This can possibly be a higher low if this breaks this area here. So if it breaks this, it'll give us a higher high. But we're definitely in up structure right now. We can go ahead and notate that, you know, just our last few points. Here, I'll make this gray or blue. I'll make it blue. This area here, this is our last area there. So that's pretty much what we're looking at for this particular pair. One of the things that we could possibly do or see with this particular pair, because I see a few things right off the bat. If price breaks up, give us a higher high, price can possibly come down to this area right here. I say that because we have a demand zone right here that has not been filled, and we also have an imbalance right in this area here that has not been filled as well. So it can possibly come down here, give us that higher low, and then continue to the upside. So that's definitely something that we can possibly look to see, because what I like about this, with this reaccumulation, this is almost, if you guys saw the video that I put out on Friday, this almost is like that particular situation. Whereas, you know what, I said I wasn't gonna mark this up, but I am gonna mark this up, and I'm gonna show you why I wanna mark this up, okay? So if we're looking at this, so we mark this up here like so, because we possibly can see a retest right back into this area, and then it shoot off to the upside. We're possibly catching like a 1-to-8 or a 1-to-10 risk reward on this particular pair. So if we mark it up and it show us those parameters, we possibly can see that within this pair. I'm gonna use the bodies on this. No, I'll use the wicks. I'll use the wicks. So it depends on how the trade is setting up. Depends on if you're gonna use the bodies or the wicks. I'll make that big like that. Okay. So with this, let's see, you guys. This is our BC, our buying climax. This is our AR, which is our automatic rally. We have a UT in this area. Yes, UT. We have a ST. No, I'm sorry. Minor sign of weakness. It slightly got lower than our AR. So this is an MSAL. Then from here, this here could be a possible LPS in this area here. And let's see exactly what happens after that, because like I said, if price can come down and break through this area and tap this level of demand or this imbalance, I'm pretty sure that it'll possibly shoot back up, because ultimately we're looking for price to come up a little bit higher. If we're looking at the overall big picture, we're looking for this supply zone to be tapped. So if we come back down to this area here, I want to put an alert on these resistance lines right here. XE breaks resistance lines. Okay, so if we see that, we can just be mindful that wait a minute, what I did, hold on, higher low. This is our last one right here. I did that all wrong. Higher low, higher high. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so if it come down here to this area, if it break these resistance lines, then because we're still in up structure, even on a 15-minute, I would like to see it come down and tap this area before it continues up. And so if we actually catch this area here, let me look on a 5-minute to see if there's anything else down there. Nope, I like this area. So if it catch this area here and we were to catch an entry, even if it tapped into this demand zone, let's see, if we took a buy here, you know, under this protected low here, it's about 34 pips. Even if we rolled it up to, you know, this area here, that's 44 pips. But if we rolled it up to the top of this box, I mean, that's 105 pips right there. But I mean, if you did catch this type of entry, to be honest with you, the idea would be to ride it up to this area, about 263 pips. It's possibly what you can do. This here is a 1-to-7 risk reward. Or however, if you want to be conservative and just put your stop loss right at this demand area here, that changes the game a bit. I mean, because that changes you from a 1-to-25 risk reward. You know, even if you rode it to this area here, that's a 1-to-10 right there, if you wanted to go ahead and take that there. So if you did this entry and you decided to, let's just say if you did this imbalance right here and your stop loss was either at the body or at these wicks, this is a 1-to-6 right here. You know, however your risk management can handle, you know, this can definitely be a really, really good trade that you can capitalize on. So just be mindful that when price come back to this area, you know, if it break these resistance lines, which is right around 1744, if it break this area, I'm believing that it'll come down here because it wants to tap either this demand or this imbalance here and shoot to the upside. So that can be a really, really good potential trade on XE for this particular pair. All right, hey Rome, I hope that helps, man. All right, so that's pretty much what I have on gold euro. Hey, you guys, if there's no other pairs that you guys see, I'll hang around a couple of more minutes. If there's no other pairs, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. And like I said, I'm definitely looking forward for the week. We have some good opportunities that we can capitalize on. And yeah, I'm looking for some great things in the market this week. We just make sure that we're patient and we stick to our guns. Make sure that you follow your rules. Hey, you guys, this week I will be dropping a video on trading plans, because I know a lot of people don't know how to make a trading plan. They don't know what to put into it. So stay tuned to a video on trading plans this week. And I have a few other videos that I'm completing, so I can put those out as well. And like I said, you guys, I hope everybody have a great week in trading in the charts. Make sure you guys be patient, be patient, be patient. Don't get FOMO. Stick to your plan, stick to your guns, stick to your confirmations. And then from there, we can all definitely be successful. I'll definitely be in the chat this week. You guys have any questions, you can always ask me in the chat. We all can collaborate and learn off each other. And from that, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, and y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. I'll holla at y'all.